Hey everyone, today we are looking at the brand new Neewer Q6 flash. Neewer were kind enough to send this over to me for a review, which means I also get to keep it afterwards. I want to make that absolutely clear from the start that this is designed for working professionals like myself who do photography at weddings and events and require an incredibly high powered but also mobile setup for their workflow. In the past, I have used 100 watt flashes, 200 watts, 50 watts. I've used flash guns in multiple arrays. This is a 600 watt battery operated flash. It's not one that goes on top of your camera, so it's not a hot shoe mounted flash system. It's very big and very heavy. But what it will do is it will allow me to set up a flash gun on a stand, shoot off camera with a trigger, and do away with all the power cables needed because it has a huge battery inside of it. So we're going to look at it from a wedding photographer's standpoint, from the ergonomics, from the case, the way it charges, the way you can cycle through the options, and anything I've found shooting weddings with it already. So first I want to note the case for this one. Now it's a hard case, which is really nice. It's like a hard fabric lined case. This is really nice because my kit for about 6 months a year lives in the back of my car, and it goes alongside tripods and stands and can get pretty damaged if it's in a soft case. So inside we open it up and we have the main equipment straight away. First I'm just going to take it out the case so you can see it clearer. Now this is the light itself. It's just a massive cube essentially with this cylinder at the front. We've got the camera specific trigger. This is a Sony trigger and it's from Neewer. We have the mount, which is a solid metal mount, which is really quite nice, with the ability to have a locking connection at the top so there's no wiggle when you attach this, and also an umbrella mount so you can put an umbrella spine through this and connect it up to your light. And lastly we have the charging cables. This you don't really need to take with you, but it's nice that there is a section inside the case just for that. So I'm going to put the trigger aside and also the mounting point for you. Let's just look at the basics of the flash unit itself. I may call it a flash gun accidentally. It's just because I've been working in weddings and stuff for about 10-15 years, and because I've gone through the whole range, these phrases are interchangeable for me. At the front we have got a reflector. This is one made by Neewer for this specifically, which is why it's flush mounted. Inside you'll see, when I take it off, we have this enormous flash tube here, which is a press fit, which means if I need to get another one, I can just wiggle this out and buy another one of these. This coil inside of here is what produces the 600 watts of flash power. It is controlled through the unit itself, and just in here you see a very small LED light. This will be your modeling light, so you can see what you are shooting essentially before you actually take the shot. So you can gauge where your shadows are going to fall and the intensity and what modifiers interact with your light to create softer or harder light. Now I wouldn't typically recommend using the flash without any kind of modifier. The flash power is going to go in all directions because the light expands uniformly in all three directions, and you will lose a lot of your power just by keeping a reflector off. So if you don't have any modifiers, just use the one they gave you. But this is a Bowens fit, which means you can add other attachments. So the light that is being used today for the studio has a 110 centimeter octabox on it. That will fit natively on here with no adapters, which I think is really great. Turning the flash unit over, we have some very simple controls on the back. We have got an array of buttons in the bottom and a big screen on the top. If I just turn it on by holding the power button, it will ask me to rotate the dial, and we've got the machine on straight away. You can hear the fans kicked in already, and it's producing some light from that modeling light, which is right in the middle behind the flash tube. And here we have two screens, one which controls the channels, so when you're syncing up with multiple flashes or units or anything basically made by Neewer, you can control it with the trigger, and you can choose different groups and channels if there's a conflict and multiple people using the same system. And on the right we have a very intuitive display which controls power and the intensity and the RGB chip, which is the modeling light. So just a quick rundown of this one. The glowing light, that is your flash test. The bottom left, that is your modeling light on and off. You can hear that the fan instantly turns off when the modeling light has been disabled. We've got a couple of options for channels and grouping, as well as a high-speed sync button, because yes, the flash on this will work on cameras beyond the sync speed of your cameras, so maybe 8,000th of a second. This will shoot a short enough flash burst that you can even shoot at these very high shutter speeds, reduce any ambient in the room and still get a flash lit shot without any black bars appearing in your images. The machine's got TTL in it, so if you are using the trigger with the TTL mode enabled, your camera will dictate how much power the flash should provide to illuminate a room. Personally, as a wedding photographer, I don't use TTL. I find that putting any trust in a semi-automatic process of a camera or flash when you only get one chance to do something is not the best idea. So I personally keep it on manual for the entire day, and I just look every 5 or 6 frames, adjust my power as needed. If I know I'm needing to illuminate something further away than the flash, I will up the power. Conversely, if they're closer to the flash, probably drop the power down as well. So this flash essentially needs a trigger in order for it to function. Because it is a newer system and I've used Godox in the past, we were provided with a newer trigger for it. This is a very, very simple trigger to use. I'm a big believer that if a piece of equipment requires a manual to understand how to do it in modern days, it's not intuitive enough and it's not something I would typically use. So I literally just turn this on with the on button on the side, and I can see straight away I've got my channels, I've got the ability to control flash duration. Because I could see on the flash unit that it was on a channel A because it's a big screen, I just press A on the trigger and then I've got controlling power. And we can see they are synced completely together with the ability to add more units in the future. For weddings, I would probably only use a maximum of 2 lights in a cross light configuration. I generally prefer to have my light off axis. Say if the subjects were in the middle and I was at 6 o'clock, I would have the light at 2 or 10 o'clock. Just so I have that kind of backlit but not too backlit. Nice combination of rim light and shadows. And if I was to use this in a room with a very low ceiling, I probably would fire it straight across the room. If it was a nice vaulted ceiling, a tall ceiling, I may fire this directly into the ceiling, which gives me a larger light source which I can cover the entire room with a nice even kind of light coming down from the roof. What's nice about this unit is the battery on the side is interchangeable, and I'm pretty sure you'd be able to buy some more elsewhere. Just a push button and this huge battery comes out the side, which you can charge directly here. The charging cable is proprietary and plugs straight into your battery here, so you could just leave this in a charging station at home if you had one next to where you charge your camera batteries. It took about an hour to charge this to full from completely discharged, which is nice and fast. It's a very high powered charger. So I'm a big fan of that. And we can just slip this back in. There's only one right way to do it. And we've got a gauge on the side which just lets us know how much charge is left in the battery, which again is great, so you don't need to connect it to your flash unit to find that out. And lastly, the way I am holding it as well, we've got this nice sturdy metal handle on the top which folds down flat. So at the last wedding I shot, it was at Edgbaston Park Hotel, which has a huge reception room with very, very high ceilings. It's completely vaulted like a triangle almost, windows throughout all of it. So anything I was going to fire into the ceiling was going to go straight through those windows and out the building, and I'd lose a lot of power that way. So I couldn't use bounce flash for that, so I had to use direct flash. Now fortunately the room is very large, it caters for hundreds of people, and the best way to cover a large amount of people with a single light is to move it as far back as you can and raise it reasonably high up. So I had this on a 3-meter light stand. I had it with just the reflector on it because I didn't need to soften the light. The object of that wedding was to project the light as far as possible away. The further your light travels, the more even the spread is. So by getting it really far back in a corner, shooting it really long way across the entire room, I could get huge chunks of people which were evenly lit by the same kind of power output. If I had it close up or I had a softbox on it, you would notice fall off where one person would be well lit and then a meter to their right it would be maybe half as bright or even a quarter as bright. This definitely provided enough power. That's due to the 600 watts output from the flash. I didn't personally use the modeling light on it. I've got enough experience shooting events like weddings that I can take a couple of shots, put it in the right position, and be confident that it will cover a large area. Overall, I'm very happy with this flash. It is heavy, but it is incredibly robust and well built. I do love the fact that it's got built-in Bowens mount, so I can put on my lanterns or a softbox or a beauty dish. All the other modifiers I've collected over the years, I could just natively mount to this. The box or the case that it goes with being hard and having a spot for the trigger is a really nice addition. It's a very efficient portable light with loads of opportunities. As a wedding photographer, it's a great addition to my bag. I want to thank Neewer for sending this over for review and for letting me keep it afterwards. It is not sponsored by them, but I am forever thankful for the collaboration we have had together. If you like this kind of content, specifically weddings, photo and video wise, stick around the channel. Love to see you again.